As if people weren't hungry enough.
Hand in hand, they toil, and the earth gives in return. The smile of the harvest.
A godlike in Emerald's Den. Well, well, maybe our luck's improving. I'd offer to shake your hand, but I've been elbow deep in Beatrice all day. Governor Vidaro, I'm sure he's snug as a maggot in a corpse in his estate. It's in Fiormezziverno, on the far side of town. But just in case it comes up, you didn't catch me digging through a corpse. Deal? Oh, well, that's the price of doing business. Don't spend it all in one place. Our governor doesn't exactly approve of my area of expertise. As you can see, this is my reanimated corpse farm.
Oh, and what do you use for fertilizer? Other corpses?
I'm trying to demonstrate the value of undead labor. But of course, nothing is ever that simple. What am I supposed to do? Just let them decompose? Reanimated corpses are the future of manual labor. Cost-effective, low maintenance, and very friendly. Now, Beatrice, she's being a real problem, if you can believe it. Would you be a dear and reach into her guts? Feel around for anything that doesn't belong. Just imagine you're preparing to roast a chicken. A wet, ropey, warm chicken. If Beatrice ate something that disagreed with her, the least I can do is keep it from spreading to the rest of the flock.
Make sure you wash your hands after this.
Huh. It's like cleaning a deer carcass. If it was rotting, it smelled like cotton, there's more to run.
I saw you reach into Beatrice. Find anything interesting? Aha! So the blight got into my revenant and interfered with her raising. That confirms one of my theories. Not only is the Dream Scourge affecting our farms, it's disrupting Animancy, unraveling our work. Sounds like I have more research ahead of me, but at least now I have a sense of direction. Thank you for getting your hands dirty on my behalf, godlike. You're a natural. Not really. But that's all right. You and I have something in common. We're animancers. Hooking up equipment and seeing what happens is what we do. You see, the living lands is rich with essence, the energy of souls. We channel this energy into our fields. And that's why Emerald's there is the breadbasket of the living lands.
There's something poetic about the idea of plants eating souls to survive. Creepy, but poetic.
But as you can see, we've been dealing with some irregularities. Spoken like a true Adiran. Traditional farms depend on water, sunlight, and the mercy of insects. What you see here is no different. Animancy can change the world. But it's an uphill climb. People don't trust what they don't understand. Come back soon.
I don't see what's the problem.
If you can't see it, I doubt I can explain it to you.
Tell me another solution that would be half as efficient as that.
They just make me feel uncomfortable.
I'm glad to see revenants working in our fields. I see nothing wrong with it.
What if the body used to be your brother? Your grandfather? You, Adiran, you know what a revenant is, don't you? Your dead friends and family walking around rotting all over your cabbages? At least someone around here seems to have a semblance of common sense.
What do you mean that's all you've got? Last week you said there'd be grain.
I know what I said, but we only have so much to go around.
Are the Animancers starving as well, Or are they sipping tea?
Take it up with the governor. I don't make the rules. Go home. Lay traps in the woods and pray for game. I can't help you.
We know you're stashing the grain somewhere. Well, let's have it.
Word of advice, give a wide berth to the governor's manor. Giatta's about to tear that poor man a new one. One of our animancers. She's bright as a spark, but a mite confrontational. She came storming up the hill with a wheelbarrow full of spoiled crops. Then the shouting started.
Animancers fighting? This I have to see.
This isn't the first time Giatta's put the governor in his place, but it might be the last. Look around. The town's overgrown, the crops are dying. What's not to fight about?
Just take a blessed day look outside. It doesn't take a genius to see this place is rolling downhill.
The governor's manor is on the far side of town. You can't miss it. Just follow the sound of foul language.
I was hoping to learn some local curses.
Looking forward to seeing what it looks like when Animancers fight.
Stay out of trouble. Or make sure I don't notice it.
The Emperor's envoy. Come to interfere in Steel-Garrote business again? Certainly not. Besides, I have no more business in Fjord. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of Animancy. While they theorize and do nothing, the sickness spreads. But worry not, envoy. The Steel-Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adiran interests when the time comes. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace?
Can I interest you in some glaveberries or Barrett's bells, perhaps? Welcome to Poria and Velino, the finest legitimate apothecary of Emerald Stair. 5 summers ago, business was thriving. But now charlatans are selling crystals and essence enlargers in the streets. Add rumors of Dreamscourge and everyone is buying from these swindlers. At least you've come in. Oh, I could, easily. But in the long run, where would that get me? I would be no better than them. I used to believe Animancers would trust science, but I'm beginning to doubt that. At least I don't have to convince you. All ingredients are fully stocked.
Come on. My invention is guaranteed to enlarge your...
What's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now. How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? My reputation precedes me.
You two have that in common.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Of course. The Adiran envoy. Ambassador Hilgard sent a missive telling me to expect you. How delightful. You speak with a measure of authority, but I caution you to remember who's in charge around here.
Now that's what I call a first impression. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now our farms. Indeed. We were fighting the Dream Scourge before it even had a name. I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust Animancy as his father did.
As usual, Giatta never misses a chance to slander me. I don't ignore her concerns, only her methods.
And you still do nothing. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Once again, bureaucracy stands in the way of getting things done.
I'm just trying to stop Giatta from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. You must be unfamiliar with Animancy. There's always collateral damage. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. Really? Unexpected from an Adiran. But how could I refuse an offer like that? Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Giatta.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giatta Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giatta is an outcast. Perhaps, but I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Mesiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west, by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giatta, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. Because they're cowards. To them, I'm just a cautionary tale. A fallen animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Mesiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone. Most of us would be better off without tyrannical bureaucrats. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. In a way, I do. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Adiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers. We haven't even gotten started and we're already talking about ethics. I can tell I'm going to like you. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Wouldn't that be a coincidence? I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... I don't even know. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave Fior Mesiverno. Forever.
Some people don't find out who they really are until they leave home.
You'll be all right. My advice, find a good tavern and learn how to prepare a squirrel over an open flame.
Maybe if I focus on what I have gained, I can learn to accept everything I've lost. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. I hope so, because we're running out of options. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fior. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. No one ever achieved the impossible without being a little unhinged. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial envoy, research assistant. Who knew?
Are you as excited to get started as I am? Because I'm very excited. Naturally. Be seeing you, my friend.
You know, I've heard dueling is popular in the Valian republics. You wouldn't think a public argument could feel as brutal, but I'll be damned if Giada didn't draw blood. No doubt. That's why I admire the resolve. Living Landers can be contrarian and combative. That's what sends a lot of us here in the first place. But it's still hard to swim against the tide with your own people, especially when it means getting them to face a hard truth. You make the wild sound downright peaceful by comparison. I'm impressed at anyone who can survive that, or break out of it, like Giada. She knows who she is and what she believes. She's got more clarity and conviction than I had at her age.
She has more clarity than you have now.
Hey, I am a willing victim of my own delusions.
Can we just talk about something else?
Hey, don't worry. We're talking about Giada's situation.
Right. Like, what did you think I was talking about?
Anyway, this can't be an easy time for Giada, but I'm glad to have her on our side.
Envoy? Well, that was interesting, right? The woman arguing about the crops failing? Standing up for what you believe against authority. I can respect that. Of course, my method would have been run away under the cover of night, never to return, but yeah, this works for her. I don't know. In my experience, it's always the snake you don't see that bites you. Anyway, there's clearly more going on here than a bunch of animancers sitting in dusty labs doing whatever they do all day. Beyond that, nah, I can't help you. Call me when you're back to facing real danger. Right, changing the subject. Until next time.
The Adra stirs, a crackle of light in a withered field. We had not considered this. Mundane, a lifetime lived in silence. We forget this. We wilt, we gnaw with hunger now. What has come of this place? Skin of the teeth. The flesh starves, but the soul is resolute. We feel them. They bend and hone the essence of the earth, They draw from our veins like a well. What are these rituals? A new tongue, an unfamiliar name. The harvest grows, the dead rise. What do they hope to achieve? Lift the shroud from the wheel. They build walls in their hearts. Why do they not share what they make? Adir sleeps across the sea. They are not troubled by the laws of Kith. What do you say? Fire that burns the forest feeds the soil with its ash. We have learned much. Dream of soaring wings in your repose.
My farmhands are very affectionate. Feel free to pet them if you like. Giatta Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor! I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? That's our governor for you. Self-righteous even in his own ignorance. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. Silvo is one of my Revenants. My oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put the poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead. That's the hard part done right there.
When a Revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has come. Silvo is on a strict diet, but I suppose he could have gotten into the crops when my back was turned. You never know with these rascals. Whether you're raising cows or corpses, every farmer lives with death. Outsiders and travelers down on their luck, you'd be surprised how many people want to sell their bodies to Animancy.
Say what you will about mercenary and military life. At least your obligations end at death.
Anyone else see a downside to giving monetary value to corpses?
This is a good forever home for the undead. Better than some crypt, anyway. But sometimes we have bad days. Really? Oh, I've always wanted a godlike for the stables. Deal! You've made me a very happy Animancer.
Make sure she doesn't try to collect till after your death.
I'm not dragging your corpse back here from some ancient ruin, I'll tell you that.
Once you've dealt with Silvo, we can finalize the arrangements. That should cover everything. You can find Silvo in the barn. He's blocked the door somehow, but the window should be open. Just be gentle with him. He's a good boy.
So, we're killing a Revenant then? She just couldn't come out and say that?
And this is why I don't take pets.
Everybody all right?
Envoy, a pleasure as always. Poor Silvo. He was a bright young revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. You wouldn't know it to look at him, but on a full stomach, he was as gentle as a lamb. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. It's possible, but we don't share research if we can avoid it. And that's one of the reasons I moved out here. The other reason being my corpses. They don't enjoy living behind walls, if you can call it living. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. Seems a little far-fetched. Then again, what isn't these days? You're a godlike, so anything is possible. Perhaps your nature will grant you more answers. Well, I'm happy to give her some good news for a change. You and Giat are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock. Before I forget, here's a down payment on your body. And here's your collar. Try not to lose it. And I've always wanted a godlike to show up at the Harvest Festival. You're going to love it here. Hopefully not for a while, though.
Great. Now I have to add to my list of idiotic ideas.
Let's hope we steer clear of assassins for the time being.
The great mystery is, are godlike blessed or cursed? The gods are silent on this question.
Neither. They just are. Anything else is speculation. Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. Fluent speech and upright posture. show marks of sophistication in the endangered godlike. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
It's just that we've never met a godlike before. This is a big day for us.
Giada must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giada needs to finish her research. Deal? We want to know about the godlike, of course. You're the first one we've encountered in the wild.
Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go round the wheel, you might not get so lucky. Tired of being remarkable? Interesting.
My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? No need to take offense. We merely seek to learn.
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone? Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giada wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
The Dream Scourge is proof that an unprecedented metaphysical disaster can take place at any time.
Oh, that's a load off my mind. Sure beats not constantly worrying about the future.
How's that good news?
Giada will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Ah, of course. The idea is a bit high-minded. Adra acts like a pathway for souls as they rejoin the wheel.
And the Dream Scourge is a plague of the soul, is it not?
So, just as Adra channels essence, so too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge. An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else, with enough essence and a capable Animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh sake, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell. Did you
Hurry, before they change their minds.
Ugh, I might have
Wonder if she
dozed
needs
off
a new
there for a
research
bit. Were any of
Or
those
maybe
words
a
the ones
test
we needed?
subject?
Both. Anything.
Careful! Or we'll get thrown out of the pub. We're already thrown out.
Really? Huh. And when did that happen?
Can't say as I remember.
You, my friend, need some water.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, I mean.
Confounded machine.
Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. Well, maybe to you, but I was educated in the great laboratories of Spirento, in the halls of experimentation. But you didn't journey all this way to hear me reminisce about the old country. What a question! If I were to answer in full, we'd be here for several decades. In short, we Animancers study essence, soul matter, if you will. Nearly everything has some essence, including you and I. Here in Emerald Stair, we use essence to enhance the crops, power our machines, even animate corpses. That is a preliminary explanation, but one that should serve, I hope. Giada, what a loss. I owe that young woman more than I could ever repay. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Yes, her theory of the dream scourge, I'm quite familiar. What I need is a stronger power source. Copper allows greater power modulation through shaping, but Adra has the potential to store more essence. I could use a large single block of Adra, but harvesting it is difficult in this environment. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. Indeed, but that well is almost dry. I need more. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgan queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgan in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgan queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
If you can convince her to hand it over, I'll be more than impressed.
Come back when you have the heart.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amigo.
Oh, it's you. Leave me alone, all right? I'm not looking for trouble. Maybe, maybe not. What's it to you? I didn't plan to run into you. That damn fool Wolf with his head full of visions. When he wanted to resort to violence, I knew I had to leave. I guess you must have seen something in him I didn't. I hope your mercy doesn't come back to bite ya. I'll be all right. I don't think I'm worth the trouble for them to catch. I'll take it one day at a time. At least for now. Good luck out there. You go your way, I'll go mine.
finally showed up. I was worried you weren't coming. The name's Keeledge. Pleasure to meet you. Not so loud. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves. Hilgard sent me to Emerald Stair to keep an eye on this place. I had orders to make contact as soon as you arrived. I won't talk long. He only wants me to let you know I'm here. If you need to get word to the ambassador, I'm your man. Depends on the day. Hilgard told me to blend in, observe, and contact you. Now, I think I'm just supposed to wait and report back in a few days. I'm worried about drawing attention from Ludwine's crew in the meantime. I think they're up to something. I suppose, but this seems worse than normal. I think the scale of their operation is dangerous. All right. I suppose I can do that. Exactly how far do you want me to go with this? I'll do my best. Until later, envoy.
Come and get me. Is that all you got?
Another win, but who's counting?
Here we go!
I'm sick!
Next one's mine.
Get back!
Here they come. Stop right there.
think I sprained my shoulder.
Keep this up.
I'm sick!
Behind you!
I'm sick! I'm sick!
You're a good friend.
Part of me loves seeing nature reclaim these ruins. Another part thinks nature needs to calm itself. Keep quiet.
On your right! Eyes right!
I'm sick! I'm sick!
Not hitting hard enough.
trail goes through the ravine and into the glade. Careful where you step.
Right behind you.
Are those roots tearing the bridge apart, or holding it together?
Try that again. That's one for us.
It's like nature shaping these ruins into something. Like a shrine, but for who?
Nice work.
You take lead.
A welcome visitor. It has been so long since one of your kind has walked in this grove. I mean one from the land, your kind. But why have you come here? A curious thing for Kith to want. Even one as special as you. It belonged to one who tended this grove for longer than I have been here. Sickness changed them, as it has recently changed so many creatures in these woods. It no longer recognized us as their kin. We had to stop them before their madness damaged the land. When we become enemies of the land, it goes against our nature. We had no choice. But it is over now. All that remains is their heart. Our kind has no need for such remembrances. It would cause us no pain to part with it. But wait. No. No! So many dead. So many of my kin are dead by your hand. I see. The wilds can be dangerous for your kind. Take it, and go in peace.
I can't believe you pulled that off. Now, let's get out of here before she notices my wood pistol grip.
You've returned. There is no need to be.
For an Adiran, you're very resourceful, and a more than capable companion for poor Giada. The court of Adir must be a very unusual place. Now that I've got the heart, my thirsty invention will drink deeply of its essence. All that's left to do is calibrate it. First things first, let's have a look at your soul. I'm going to ask some questions to induce a metaphysical quiver. No, not to worry, just testing your reflexes. Let's start with an easy one. You wake up on a beach, looking up into the sun. Your hands are covered in blood. It's less of a question and more of a stimulus. As long as you're honest, there's no wrong answer. All right. Let's try some word association. Tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Pendulum. Chrysalis.
A spark ignites a flame. An idea ignites a war.
Hello? You still with me? Strange. Shouldn't feel anything in the physical sense. No matter. Let's go over your results. Your soul is like a piece of sea glass. All the edges are smoothed down. Quite beautiful, really. Your godlike nature is a marvel to behold. Not to besmirch a colleague, but watchers aren't the most reliable sources. What I see is something entangled about your soul. An outside presence that both is and isn't a part of you. It's old, dark, and rather tricky to pin down. Very interesting. Nothing harmful, at least not yet. Fascinating. Thank you for getting my machine calibrated again. But you came for Giata's theory of the Dream Scourge. Between the two of us, she's on to something. Our farms are in great peril. The essence has been drained from the land, diverted, like the flow of a river. Exactly. And if I know essence, it can't have gone too far. All I can tell you is keep looking. You'll find what you're after. As much as I hate giving people bad news, that's all I have. Please give Giata my fondest regards.
Keep looking, huh? I'm getting a bad feeling about what we'll find.
Yeah, I'll be honest. He lost me when he started talking about souls. What did I miss?
If there's nothing else, I have a great deal of work to do.
I have to do something. I can't let anyone else discover this. Envoy. I'm sorry. I'm not in a place to talk right now. I'm not concerned with that. Not now. Yesterday, I made an incredible discovery. We can use half as much Adra to achieve the same results. And then I thought, what if one day it's a third, a quarter, a speck? No. To harness these forces for so small a price is too much power. Who knows what kind of chaos we'll create? I have been reading Athelmir's treatise on Wodica. Perhaps she's right. Maybe Animancy should be reined in. How can I? All right. I'll do some more tests and see where they lead me. But I won't publish anything until I'm absolutely sure. I hope I'm right. I shudder to think what will happen if I'm not.
The Adra is helping. It's the essence I'm concerned about.
This again. You're beginning to sound like Giata.
Have you ever stopped and listened to her? She may be onto something.
I'm sure her mother and father were onto something, and look what happened to them.
What do you think of Giata's theory?
Well, my experiments have been a little...
unpredictable? Like, the essence has no sense of direction.
How did you know?
We should talk, but not here.
I have a lot of packing ahead of me, but I've earned a short rest. Good timing. I'm about ready to get started. So, did you learn anything of particular interest? That's the fun part of metaphysics. Everything is strange, but nothing is new. Look at us. Barely even started, and already we're making progress. Monto's machine is working, Elia will keep an eye on her revenants, and Yvette and Remy are providing us an alibi. Under the circumstances, the two are not so different. I needed those animancers for more than their expertise. Monto's invention nullifies spiritual interference. Having it up and running means we won't get any false signals. Whenever I tap into an Adra pillar, Elia's farmhands tend to get a little bitey. Thanks to you, they won't be a problem. And then there's Yvette and Remy, the governor's eyes and ears. In exchange for privacy, I gave them a test subject. I'd call that a good day's work. Animancy takes a lot of preparation. You might only have one chance to run through an experiment. Now we just need the right equipment for the job. When my parents died, they left me their life's work. An invention like no other. The phantasmal focus. Think of it as a spiritual tuning fork, or a dowsing rod. It has many functions. Some more obvious than others. The problem is it's in the basement. I haven't gone down there since the accident. Since they died.
I can't blame you for avoiding a place like that.
I would get it myself, but I'm not ready to face what's down there. Terrible mistake. The door to the basement is just outside, around the corner. Of course you'll need a key. Please excuse the mess.
If that's where her parents died, I'm glad we can spare her from having to go back.
Okay, walking into the basement of an Animancer I just met. Right, feels great.
Something's not right here. Stay ready.
Haven from the Blight. Who grows here?
I feel pretty certain that those people aren't supposed to be plants.
What a horrific fate.
Beauty reborn. A life of peace.
We can leave now, right?
Poor Giada. To think she's been living with this right under her nose.
I don't. Anyone know what happened back there?
I think those were Giada's parents, or whatever's left of them.
So they're dead?
Or something like that.
Gods, I can't believe this.
You're back. You found it. You actually found my inheritance. Did you see my mother and father? Are they still there? I'm sorry. For what it's worth, I don't think you were in any danger. All that's really down there is an unhappy memory. One that keeps on growing. My mother had an idea about how to use the essence of the living lands, and it destroyed her. My father, our family.
People are too quick to risk everything for an ideal. I'm sorry it didn't work out for your family.
So I swore an oath. No one could enter the lab until I understood what happened. I'm on the right track to figuring it out, which is almost as good. Enough about me. Let's worry about you for a change. With the phantasmal focus, I can finally tap directly into the essence of the living lands. I can also use it to smack around anyone who gets in our way. Don't worry. It's more durable than it looks. Kind of like me. The only thing we're missing now is an Adra pillar. And I know the perfect one. Naku Tedek, the old godless ruin west of Fjord. There should be some equipment waiting for us. We used it to study the Adra pillar. Then some priests moved in and took offense at our work. I hope they haven't tampered with the equipment, or this will be a very short experiment. That rugged thing? It's as dry as a bone. Hardly any essence left. Even if it wasn't, I'm not exactly welcome in the workshop these days. Naku Tedek is special. I used to play there as a child and take rubbings of the memorial plaques. Historians think it may have once been a burial ground, a place where souls can return to the earth. So, we kept the tradition alive. Many of our founders are buried there, though not all of them, as you discovered. Well, that covers everything. Let's go. The Dream Scourge can't hide for long. Before we head out, let's make the most of our time in Fjord. No telling how long we'll be gone. I almost forgot. Someone gave me a letter for you. They said it was for the Envoy's eyes alone. You, my new friend, are full of surprises. And I hate to be a problem, but I do my best work in small groups. Chalk it up to performance anxiety. That was not my finest hour. I was so angry. Mistakes were made. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, I don't want there to be any mistakes.
Sounds good. I need to do some hunting anyway.
Once we're all together, we should trade ghost stories. Best way to get acquainted. In the meantime, let's be off.